Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another season of Chaotic Corp. I think this is going to be season 4. I'm your host, Jordan, and sadly today we will not be having your co-host, Tristan, or King Apollo, as he is away dealing with some stuff. Along with me, I do have a guest from last season that you are pretty familiar with, Scott.
Hello, people in. How are y'all doing tonight? Glad to be here, Jordan. Thank you for having me back.
No problem. We loved you on season 3. You had to have you back for season 4.
Excellent.
Um, so this season 4 is based on Loki, which just aired today. Well, you're going to be listening to it on the 10th, but it was released on the 9th.
Yep.
Yeah, so this was a very good episode.
It was.
I really like.
Oh, and hold on before we start. Ladies and gentlemen, this will contain spoilers. If you want to go watch the show yourself and then come back and do this, you can. Or you can just watch the show now and then watch it afterwards. It's up to you. Go ahead, Jordan.
Very good, Scott. Thank you. So, in the beginning of the episode, it actually starts off in New York, in 2012 New York, too, which is very cool. I didn't think they were going to do that. I didn't know, actually, quite frankly, I didn't know what to expect. Scott, I know you said that you agreed with me that we were kind of going in blind here, which adds to the fun, of the podcast
Does.
and the show. But we are in New York. They just captured Loki. It's actually the same scene from Endgame, where they're trying to get the Tesseract from Loki. Also, if you haven't seen Endgame, you probably should have by now.
Yeah, and I would highly recommend you watch Endgame.
But anyways, we see him take the Tesseract, and then the screen cuts black, and then now we see where he went, because we didn't get to see that in Endgame.
Correct. It's like a little Easter egg. Sorry, get off there. Keep going.
No, you're good. So where he actually goes, he goes to where was that? Mongolia, in the desert.
The Gobi Desert in Mongolia. Yep.
Yeah. And dude, he was really high up. He literally shot like a rocket. Of course, I don't know how space magic works, but So, anyways, he's here in the desert, and he's talking to all these. What would you call them? Mongolians?
Mongolians, yep.
Okay, I didn't, want to offend anyone. I didn't know if that was the correct terminology.
I'm almost certain it is. If it isn't, we apologize.
Yeah, we apologize. Anyways, he's talking to
We're American. We're arrogant.
We're arrogant. Yeah. So he's talking to all these Mongolian people, and they don't even speak English. And then off on the corner, you literally off to the side, you see the space. What were they called, Scott? The TVA.
The TVA, Time Police. I'm gonna call them Time Police to keep things simple.
Well, that's what everyone was calling them before they give them the name the TVA. But I know that the TVA already exists in the comics. But
so the interesting thing about this show is it's taking a lot of inspiration from a lot of older TV shows. Like one in particular is called The Prisoner, in which this guy is a spy and he gets trapped in this town, but he's completely cut off and he can't escape, and he's always trying to escape. So it's very interesting, the connections to that, and also other vintage shows. Because it's not because notice technology they're using, the weapons and all that is futuristic, but the environment is very similar to a classic sci-fi movie.
Right. Okay. That's very
interesting. Which I thought was interesting. It is. It really is, and So let's see. So he's been kidnapped by the Time Variance Authority.
Yeah.
That's right. Then we get the whole DMV scene where it's he's got to get a ticket. He's got to get in line.
Oh yeah, that was funny. That was pretty funny.
I loved the cartoon. I thought that was a great throwback to some older stuff.
Yeah, they had a cartoon, and they basically explained to him that, that if someone steps out of line from what they were originally supposed to do, they create what's called a nexus, an alternate timeline, and that's in danger of creating an entire multiverse. There's already a multiverse, but I don't know how it
Yeah.
works exactly. I think it's like something that wasn't supposed to happen.
Interesting, because this could play straight into Doctor Strange's next movie, The Multiverse of Madness.
I don't know, but it's already been confirmed that WandaVision already plays right into it. So
Interesting.
this could. I didn't hear anything about this tying into it. It would be great if it did.
Mm-hmm.
But they also gave us like a backstory of the original three timekeepers. I'm guessing is what they called them. I can't remember exactly. But there were these three beings that there was an all-out war, is what they said first off. That there was like a whole time war to see who was like the correct timeline and whatnot. And then these three combined their powers or something and created the perfect timeline. I don't remember what words exactly that they used, but they're constantly keeping everything in check. And I don't know, it's already been confirmed in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania that King the Conqueror is going to appear. I have a feeling that he might make a cameo in here, and they just are keeping it a secret. You know what I mean? I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that that's the case, because that would be great.
It would be great. And then after that whole scene, he gets thrown into court, and then they have the whole little trial.
Yes.
And then we get to meet who I think is the more interesting character of the show besides Loki himself, Mobius.
Mobius, yeah. And
Mobius.
We were thinking not that it was like a certain somebody, but that, I don't know. It's weird how they really introduced him. It's almost asking for like people to start doing some real digging.
Yeah.
He's got to be like a more of an important character. I don't know. A lot of people, and this really annoys me, that people were like, "Oh my gosh, in WandaVision, Mephisto is going to appear. In Falcon and Winter Soldier, Mephisto is going to appear." And then here in this freaking scene where Owen Wilson is talking to this kid from the 1500s in France, by the way. He points.
Yeah.
He asks, like, there were a bunch of dead guys in this church, and like the time police, like their own men, and he asked this kid who did it, who he thinks did it, and he pointed to this mural
to the
this
of the devil.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, that's obviously freaking Morbius, or Mephisto. I hate myself.
It could be. You never know. They could throw Morbius in.
Morbius wouldn't make sense.
You never know.
Morbius wouldn't make sense.
No,
it would be cool, but it wouldn't make sense. We don't need another 20th Century Fox X-Men situation with Dark Phoenix. We don't need another one of those. The whole movie didn't make sense at all. But they showed that stained glass on the window, and it was literally the devil. Now, whether that's a reference to something else, or that's just plain old, hey, we're giving you Mephisto in this show, I have no idea. I can't wait to see, more. Hopefully, next episode, next week, they'll give us more on that. But
and then he notices the kid's got like the blue teeth.
Oh yeah.
And he's got it's like the bubble gum from like the 50s or something like that.
Yes, and he's like literally, I think he said the devil is bearing gifts or something. I thought the coolest scene in this whole show was when they're walking about after the court scene. Morbius comes out. Mobius comes out and grabs Loki, saying that he could be of use to him. Hopefully, trying to figure out this case that he's working on, who's killing his men, or just killing police in general. And so they're walking to this room, and they stop and take a glance off into the distance, and they see this entire like society of, I don't even know how to explain it, but there's flying cars, There's buildings that are just like floating.
Yeah, it's like a whole retro futuristic world.
It's like if you had Cloud City but on crack, right?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
It's there's flying cars, there's buildings, literally like as towers or even floating off in the distance. It looks very futuristic too, to say the least. Very, very cool.
Yeah, and it seems like this is like its own own place. Like I don't think anyone can leave.
I don't think anyone can go.
I think people can enter or go. Yeah, I don't think anyone can leave at all because like the one guy even said,
what's a fish?
Yeah, like where did that guy come from? Casey, he's hilarious, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
The guy at the front desk.
He is hilarious.
Where did he come from? He doesn't know a fish. Like, are these people dead?
Exactly.
They lost their memory. They now work for the time police, or literally were they created?
Oh,
because I think Loki
that or
being created by the three beings to help fix time.
Or they could be like time criminals that have been like like brainwashed essentially.
Just reset.
Remade. Yeah, reset.
Maybe. It's an interesting.
That'd be my guess. Like,
it's an interesting thought process, definitely, to say the least. But
because I feel as though it'd be interesting to see like what direction they take this show in. I feel as though that either this is gonna be the way they reintroduce Loki, because he's clearly dead in Endgame.
Oh yeah, see, I have a theory for that too. I was gonna say, tell me yours. I might save mine for later though.
Yeah, so that'd be my main driving theory, that this could be the way they bring back.
Yeah, that's what I was exactly thinking. That there's a possibility somewhere in here. Marvel's not just doing it for fun. They are, but
exactly.
Kevin Feige and whoever else is working with him, like at actual like Marvel comic book studios, not just like Marvel, the MCU. Whoever he's working with, they're trying to piece this all together, make like an actual story, not where it's like DC. And I don't mean to shit on DC either, pardon me, but they literally can't keep their continuity.
No, and this seems like they're
Bros.
trying.
It is Warner Bros, but
this seems like they're trying to fix maybe some of the problems they're having with like maybe Marvel's got a few.
You think they have problems, Scott?
Not problems, but I feel like they might have. Well, they do have problems. We'll get into that later. But it feels though there's like holes or gaps in the timeline. This could fix it.
Perhaps.
You know what I'm saying? If there's like certain points where like the timeline doesn't make any sense at all, or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. That's a thought. That is a thought. I'm not totally denouncing that, because that, they always have a plan, and I always trust them, even though that they're making a Black Widow movie. I still trust them. Hopefully, something good will come out of that. And it's not just because we want to give Scarlett Johansson more money, even if she's not in any more, gonna be in any more movies. I don't doubt, or I doubt that they're just like wasting money. I know that they're doing it for a good reason.
Do you think that they could? I mean, it's comic book, so do you think they could bring back Black Widow?
Heck no. I don't think so. Loki, yes, maybe.
Loki makes more sense to me, yeah.
Time and alternate realities. Alternate realities being the alternate timelines that are sprouting from one little incident, and they're trying to fix them. If they didn't fix it, Loki could, not come in contact with Thanos, who kills him, and then he could still be around. Everything could happen without him killing Loki, and then Loki could show up and like help somehow. You know,
Yeah,
he
or
played a part.
maybe there's already. See, I think what they do is they could place like a clone or like a duplicate of Loki into that timeline, or maybe
Yeah,
this thing is outside of time. You know, like that time doesn't have any meaning in this place, but it does in the like this like outside. This like a whole thing outside of the timeline. You know what I'm saying? It's like
I do. My thought process was from the video that they showed us, the little cartoon clip. It did tell us about how they would fix things. You have some guy on a set path, and something happens where he's like, you know what, maybe I'll go left instead of going right today. And
yeah.
he was meant to go right, but instead he went left. So that created an alternate reality. And the time police catches him.
Hmm.
They take him to where they took Loki, and it looked like what they did in the desert. They reset everything within maybe like a 50-mile radius, maybe less. I don't know. Maybe they reset the whole area and not like the whole world. I don't know.
Yeah, you never
Depends on
know.
how many variables. Like if you were in the city, I'd imagine that you have to like reset like half of the Earth, maybe. Like, I don't know, but you know, my thought process was that they took Loki, and in that instant they placed one of those charges down back in New York that made it so that he didn't take the Tesseract. But
Oh, okay.
but also I feel like that might be unfixable because even the Avengers went back in time and screwed up the timeline by screwing up, accidentally giving Loki the Tesseract. If they would have gotten the Tesseract and brought it back, there would have been nothing wrong with that because they would have created an alternate timeline, but then they would have fixed it by giving back the Tesseract. You
Yeah,
know what
but
I mean?
and I agree with that
Because that's what Captain America did
because of
too.
what Loki did, and there doesn't seem to be like a reset. That probably was meant to happen. So I think that whole line
Yeah, it's
is
contradicted itself, isn't
it's
it?
contradictory. Yeah, because like the Avengers were supposed to do that. Like, and
Yeah,
they
nothing
were
was supposed
supposed to
to
do that.
happen, and then
Yeah,
something happened where they came back in time, took something from the past, and screwed up, lost it, and gave it to somebody that wasn't supposed to get it. So they really did screw up. So in that instance, it could be fixed because they ended up going back in time further to where Dr. Pym was still Ant-Man and took his Pym particles to grow big so that they could get out of the past, out of the quantum realm, and they took
yeah.
the Tesseract from when they found it, from when it fell in the ocean when they got Steve out of the water. Um, Actually, I don't think they even found him. They found the Tesseract first. Yeah, that's right. So, in all honesty, they could fix it right then and there by
They
placing,
could.
once they left the building, Scott, Cap, and Tony, once they left, the building and everyone was like on high alert, they could have like easily reset it right then and there to give the Tesseract to whoever. I think it ended up going back to Thor. Yeah, yeah. Tony like ended up keeping the Tesseract and giving it back to Thor at the end of the movie. I remember that. So yeah,
That's where he did.
that's how he like teleported home. I forgot. So I don't know. All this time talk is really,
Time thing is very confusing.
it's so confusing. Maybe we should stop talking about it because we got to talk about more of these scenes at the show. So unless you want to go any further.
Well, do you want to talk about where we think the series is going to go, or do you want to talk about
Let's
something?
leave it for the end. I'm just kind of like going through the scenes from what we saw and how we felt and all that good stuff. So the next scene that was really interesting, Morbius. Mobius pulls out this like projector looking thing, and even though it's on this little like boob tube almost, with like the
Yeah, it's like it's
nipple.
on a little TV.
Yeah,
I thought that was funny.
it's very like retro, so it does give me like old sci-fi Back to the Future vibes, you know, where things aren't like humongous flat screens, but the technology is like so much more advanced, you know. It's I don't know, it's like classic like 80s, 70s time travel movies, you know, very cheesy, cliche, whatever. He's showing him things that happened to him, meaning when he got caught, and he's like, yeah, I know, I was there, and when he went to what would have happened to him, which was go to prison if he hadn't taken the Tesseract, and he didn't know about
So,
this.
do you think that this has created a whole nother timeline again?
Because he's showing him this stuff?
Yeah, do you think like that this is causing...
No, because see, here's the thing, right? They said that they know exactly what's going to happen to him, and I think this goes with my theory that, or it just goes more along with what they showed us in that little cartoon clip when they said that they take the variant, that's what they called them, the variants that go out of their timeline and take them to prison, and then they reset everything and create a new person non-variant that's supposed to travel the correct path instead of screwing up and going to another path. So he was showing him all this footage of things that would have happened to him, because it sounds to me like it already happened. He was just like that one little loose end that he decided to take back to prison. So it sounds to me like they fixed it, which is their job. Somehow they fixed it. I don't know how they fixed it, but anyways, they show him. They actually show him, him go to prison, and they show him, his mother, actually dying, and I was like, man, that like really crushed him. It didn't crush. I feel like it did really crush him. As much in Thor: The Dark World. Maybe it did, but I guess we're just getting a lot more emotion in this show than we did in the movie.
Well, and he also knows now, like, so originally, so for everyone who doesn't know this is Loki from 2012. This is a very different Loki from Endgame. Yeah. This Loki was shocked that his own actions had this kind of consequence. And I think they're going to continue to play into that. Like, now Loki knows all about his life, and I think they're going to slowly turn him into like a good guy, like they did in Endgame, where Loki is actually kind of more of an anti-hero.
You mean in not an Endgame? Oh well, yeah.
I mean, not Infinity War. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And,
where he tries to kill Thanos.
And Thor Ragnarok too. I would say that.
Yeah.
Towards the end, of course, though. But I want to pause on what else he saw for a minute. He did show him this really funny clip of him getting on this plane. Does anyone remember what is it, B.D. Cooper?
B.B. Cooper, yep.
B.D. Cooper story. Do you wanna tell people about the B.D. Cooper story?
I will tell the people. So one of the most famous unsolved mysteries in the world is about this guy. He gets on a plane. He's wearing sunglasses and a nice suit. He gives the stewardess a message saying, hey, I have a bomb. Give me a parachute. Give me like 2 parachutes and like unmarked bills or something or give me like a lot of money. And they do it. And supposedly he jumps out of the plane, and the money is later found all over like Seattle or wherever they were flying, and he's just gone. I think they find the parachute, but he's completely gone. Nobody knows him. Nobody knows where he is. There's a lot of theories about it, but in this show, I love, because they poke fun of it, they say that, oh yeah, Loki was DB Cooper's because of a
Yeah,
Thor bet him to do it,
yeah, for
which I
some
thought was
reason,
funny.
which was that was very funny. But the funniest thing was because that no one could found BD Cooper, and in this show they made it make sense because he got taken up by the Bifrost in midair, so that's why.
Yep.
And then you just see all the money like floating in the air. That was funny.
That's exactly how it ends.
You're right.
So it's
That was really good actually. That was a brilliant
so I
part.
think we might see more of these weird unsolved mysteries of time in the
That would
show.
be
Like
cool.
I think it would be cool too, and like Loki or someone is in Marvel Universe is connected to them because there's a lot of unsolved, mysteries, not just murders, of like disappearances and stuff like that. So
Plot
I think
twist.
Marvel.
Time travel is actually real, and they were just making fun of it. Disney frickin' knows that time travel is
Oh, do they know they have already have resurrected via time travel Walt Disney?
real. Oh no,
He,
he's a
they
cyborg
can,
now.
can you
It's
imagine?
cyborg Walt Disney, dude.
It's like Terminator. I will bring back Disney and I will terminate Warner Brothers.
It will
Can you
terminate
imagine
Warner
that?
Brothers. They will join us, or they will die.
And I will buy up everything in entertainment history.
Dude, Walt Disney really do becoming like the emperor.
Oh, they practically own everything.
They own
It's
everything.
only a matter of time.
I wish they would just buy Apple and then call it a day.
Dude, I think they're next out, honestly.
See, I don't think anyone can actually buy Apple because Apple is like on par, if not, I feel like more than Disney. Maybe it might be lower because Disney, no. See, all throughout the world, like I feel like 90% of the world has an iPhone, which is sad to say, but I feel like it's true.
Oh, it is true because they're the best.
Right, and then less than that is Android. Still love Android.
And then you have like, oh yeah, to each his own. So anyways, back to the show. So do you want to get into theories now? Or do you want to talk a little bit more about it? What do you want to do?
I got a couple more scenes that I want to go over.
Okay, let's go over them then.
There was, after he saw his mother's death, he actually Owen leaves the room for a minute, and then Loki actually like hides. Actually, no, I'm sorry. He actually does escape. He doesn't hide. He escapes because they actually put this collar on him, and basically it's like a leash. It's like a time loop thing, where if he were to run, it just zips him like right back next to Morbius or Mobius.
There we go.
Damn it. Right.
Morbius confirmed for the show.
Yeah, exactly. Back to yeah. So it's pretty cool. So he uses that and escapes out into like the hallway. So Loki actually goes and finds Casey, and this is really funny. He's like,
This is funny.
Hit you with a fish if you don't.
I'm gonna gut you like a fish.
Yeah, he said, I'm gonna gut you like a fish if you don't.
It's like,
hit me with a tentacle.
What's a fish?
Yeah, and Casey over here is like, what's a fish? That's why we were saying earlier that they might be actually just made by the three beings that were controlling time, the timeline, which would be an interesting take. Or like you said,
it would be.
They would have their minds wiped and to only know exactly what's going on here, that they were convicts or whatever, something. We'll probably find out that later, but
bunch of dirty time criminals all together in one place.
Yeah,
sickens me like Alcatraz. Dude, this could be like Alcatraz for like time.
You think it would get dark?
Criminals. I think it could get dark. Because they went pretty dark with because it started off light with Winter Soldier and
I guess you could
Falcon.
A little bit dark.
With like
certain instances.
Oh yeah, and WandaVision, from what I heard, that got pretty dark too. Not nearly dark as like DC.
No.
But
it's a whole new level for the MCU. So
which I think is a good thing. I think it's
the comics are pretty deep, dark too. But it is good, like you're saying. But anyways, Casey gives him the Tesseract, and then the funniest thing happens. He looks in there, and there are all these Infinity Gems. There's like 4 or 5 of Time
It's like,
Stones.
yeah.
There's 2 huge Mind Stones. Those actually might be the Soul Stones. I could be wrong.
The point was there's tons of Infinity Stones and tons of copies, and he even said, "Yeah, man, we use this as like paperweights because we love them. There's like so many of
So
them."
funny. And we were thinking maybe the Avengers messed up in different ways. I thought maybe throughout the years, things different, like maybe aliens or different beings had control of the stones that weren't supposed to have control of the stones. So
I like that. I like that a lot.
They
They controlled them. I like that a lot. I think that's actually a great theory.
Yeah, they
that they have to we don't want the Nazis to get this too soon because they'll win World War II. So
exactly.
hey there, agent Morbius or Mobius, go stop the Nazis from getting this. Okay, Chief.
Well, actually, that's what they were doing in like that first scene that we saw. Owen Wilson he was trying to figure out, he was trying to fix something. He was trying to clean up the bodies of his men because, you can't leave advanced technology in the 1500s. So.
Yeah, be a little shocking for some little French peasant child to come across an iPad. Like,
exactly. It's bad enough they gave him gum, but
Yeah, it's bad enough they gave him chewing gum.
Right.
Heaven forbid he gets an iPad.
I think my favorite part overall is the next scene where, after he saw all those Infinity Stones, they were like, after he said we use them as paperweights, I think he began to realize, like, is this the greatest power in the universe? And he was beginning to realize just how small he was, and his fight for the throne. He was gonna. His plans were to become all powerful. Rule all the 9 realms. That don't matter to the Time Police. He was.
No, it doesn't.
He was beginning to realize just how small his plans really were, and how insufficient and meaningless they were compared to this organization. I love that.
Clearly, Endgame didn't matter. Clearly, a few of these other larger Marvel events really did not matter in the giant scheme of things.
Oh, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They're not really getting involved, and that's kind of true. Apparently, of Eternals too. The Eternals aren't really getting involved until now. Like, there's something bigger happening.
Something dumb, but I don't. I've heard that the Eternals are going to be kind of like a boring movie, but. Anyways. So then he comes back to the room and he starts, going back and looking at the pictures and videos of his mother dying. And this is what crushed me. Loki started to cry, and, we got to actually see some emotion from him other than just anger and, I guess you could say pleasure from killing people, all of that. And then he sees his dad pass away. It starts getting a little bit heavier and heavier, and then he sees Thor talking to him about fighting side by side and being with him forever. And then it just got really dark. Well, it came to like a happy moment. They were just joking around. He was laughing a little bit. And then it got really dark. Because then he sees Thanos. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, crap, he's going to witness his own death. That's like the number one thing I think that you're not supposed to do when doing time. If you, I think, are going back in time, you're not supposed to. It has something to do with you and observing your own death. I don't remember what
there's I remember there's all these rules of time travel, and if I remember correctly, one of them is like, You can't interact with anybody or like
Yes.
you from their past. You cannot change anything.
I think you
So
could
it's there's
change something. It just has to be
I think you
subtle.
can, but like you have to be careful because like the whole butterfly theory is like, oh, the flap of a butterfly wing changes and like there's like an earthquake that like ruined like Iran or some random country, you know what I'm saying?
Right. So, um, yeah. So he's really freaking startled, and he starts like just like laughing all like insane, like I get it. He just witnessed his own death, something that
Mm-hmm.
he didn't even think was gonna happen. Yeah, he
Yeah,
sincerely thought that he was gonna rule.
he really did.
Yeah. So, and then it comes to a close. He's saying, hey, I'll help you. Um, if no, I don't think there was any like, if you do this for me. I think he was just like, hey, I'll help you. I don't really like hurting people. And I was like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
that was a big turnaround. He could be lying, but at the same time, I don't know. So
I
then
don't think he. You never know with
you
him.
never know with him, but there were some really good really good times when he wasn't lying and he was actually being truthful. Um, but then you just see these Time Corps dudes get literally like burnt alive
Oh yeah, in that the 1895 farm field
in like
where they find like
Oklahoma.
that,
Yeah,
in like yeah they find like that futuristic shovel. And who do you think the cloaked figure
it
is?
could
Is the
be
question.
him. I don't know who else it could be. It seemed really like big for Loki, like
Hmm.
buff. So I don't think, or husky, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. I don't think it's Loki. I have no idea who it could be though. Well, I'm definitely excited to see what more they're gonna do with this. That I know you are too. Um,
Oh,
did,
it's gonna be interesting.
did you have a theory you wanted to throw in there?
So my theory is Loki. This version of Loki will not come into the Marvel universe, like the main timeline, because I think his death still has a vital role to play in Infinity War, and I don't foresee them really doing anything with him in future movies. Because I feel as though if they wanted to do more with him, they would do like more movies about him. I mean, they're doing the miniseries. I feel as though the miniseries is gonna be more like fan service, but I could be wrong.
The miniseries for what though? What are you talking about?
This miniseries, the thing we're talking about right now,
Oh
the
no
thing.
no no! See, you're saying it could be for fan service. I don't. What I was saying earlier was I know it's not for fan service.
Oh,
All of
okay.
their
I didn't know that.
shows. Yeah, dude. All of their shows have a meaning. Like I said with Black Widow, there's got to be a meaning. Like I don't think it's just for the fans. I think it's actually got some meaning to it. There's a
But with
purpose.
that being said, though, I know we're kind of jumping ship here. What do you think? Um, Black Widow is going to connect. What do you think that's going to bring
I
to
don't
the
know. Maybe the Red Guardian. That was back in
Okay.
2016, and now it's like 2023 or something like that. But it could bring Taskmaster. There's a huge thing about the Thunderbolts coming into
Oh,
play.
okay.
They
Okay.
could be the next Avengers movie villain group.
Oh, like kind of like a Legion of Doom type, where like.
Yeah, it could be, like the Sinister Six. It would be the um, what did I say it was? The Thunderbolts. It could
Hmm.
very well be the Thunderbolts. So, I don't know. I'm excited though.
That could work. That'd be interesting to see because I love the
We
Thunderbolts.
already have we already have Baron Zemo, but he's in jail. Easily could be
Hmm.
broken out. With Taskmaster coming into play, that's two. Then they have Ghost. There's another character that I can't put my finger on right now, but then there's also General Ross, which is the Red Hulk. Um,
Oh yeah, I'd love to see them bring him in.
I don't I get confused. because there's Everett Ross from Black Panther, and then there's General Ross, and I don't think they're related. I don't think they're related. There's General Ross from Endgame, if you remember, or even Civil War, who enforced the Accords. He was actually the general in the first Hulk movie, so I'm glad that they kept the character, the actor.
Oh, I'm glad about that. I liked him as that character. I thought he did a great job with it.
Yeah, the general's cool. So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But I had a fun time watching this episode, and I know you did too.
I did too. What characters, if you could pick like any Marvel character, we'll do unrealistic then realistic. Who do you think is going to show up into this show?
Oh, well, you see, in Falcon and Winter Soldier, they had like at the end of each episode, almost every episode, they had a cameo. It was one of the Wakandan warriors. It was can't remember what it was in the first one.
Let's see here. We had, I think it was like Zemo.
It was the Wakandan
then we had
warrior.
Carter. Then we had the warrior. Then we had the girl who became the main villain, the power broker later on.
Yeah, so they had a couple cameos like right at the end of each episode. I don't know if they're gonna do this. I don't know if they would have cameos. They might, but I couldn't put my finger on who it could be. I just have to wait and see. I mean, what do you think? What do you think?
I think I would hope, because I think it was tying really well with the movie that's coming out. I think they should do Doctor Strange.
Ooh.
I think that'd be really cool if they did him.
Or it could be the original Sorcerer Supreme. What's her face?
Yeah, the Supreme one, or the girl with the bald head.
Later, yeah, but I don't remember her actual name.
Ancient one.
The Ancient One. What was wrong with it? Yeah, they just called her the Ancient One. I don't think she actually had like a name. So that would be interesting. That would definitely be interesting.
It would be, because it would further extend the universe.
Yes.
Which I think would be great. I think would also help connect a lot of things too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I feel as though they definitely should bring in some other characters.
Yeah.
Like they did with
I don't doubt that they will. Hopefully they just pull it off right. I have high hopes for this show. This show's pretty enjoyable for what we've seen today. So, all right. Well, I got everything out that I wanted to talk about. Did you? Did you get everything in?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I mean, there's the see until episode 2. What happens?
Oh yeah, can't wait.
Although, to be honest with you, this is not what I expected at all from the Loki show. I thought they were going to do something completely different.
It's got a different tone than, I mean, of course, the shows have a different tone than the movies, which is great. I just appreciate them that much more, so I'm having fun with these. But, yeah. All right. Well,
so what would you rate the show? Hold on, before we leave,
yeah.
What would you rate the show, Jordan?
Well, you mean like the episode?
Yeah, the episode. That's what I mean.
I'd probably give it a 10. I really like this episode. It was a good start.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a good start.
I give it a solid 8. I think it's great. A great start. A great setup. Introduces a lot. Really leaves the door open for some very unique characters that will definitely be introduced. Hopefully introduced later on.
Oh, definitely.
I think more realistically though, we will see another minor character, maybe a minor, like maybe that guy who helped Thor, and like that one random scene. We're definitely gonna see like a few minor characters within Loki's storyline.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting though.
It will be.
All right. Well, this has been episode 1 of season 4 on the Loki show. Thank you for listening. We stream from time to time. You can follow me at twitch.tv/hotpocket61. You can follow Tristan on Twitch. He's not here right now. Twitch.tv/Apollo Your King. Scott, I don't know if you do any streaming or not.
No, I don't do currently, but you can find me here at Chaotic Corp on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can also find links to our Discord and maybe future social media pages. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Take care.